No, I think they're 10, 20 years ahead of us, maybe even more. Not because of they're a couple months ahead or behind on DeepSeek or ChatGPT, but because of uplifting the entire cities here. And this is, this is what digital China is uplifting this whole area.
2秒钟能干什么？在美国可能还不够你打开一个网页，但在中国，它足够让一个违章司机在手机上收到罚单并完成扣款。画面里正在发出惊叹的2个人，可不是什么没见过世面的普通网红。主持人帕特里克 Patrick Bet-David 是美国著名的商业智囊和顶级访谈节目的主理人，而坐在他对面的则是美国芝加哥大学的顶级智囊，国际关系学泰斗罗伯特·佩普教授 Robert Pape。佩普教授刚刚结束了他在中国武汉、杭州、深圳等高新城市的深度实地考察，每天工作18小时，甚至深入到了最核心的芯片生产车间。今天这段视频就是佩普教授带回来的第一手震撼报告。在接下来的视频里，他将彻底撕碎西方媒体长期以来用吸管视角看中国的偏见。你会看到中国是如何跳出单一的 AI 软件内卷，直接用高科技去整体重构一整座城市的医疗、交通和政务系统。你还会听到美国精英面对中国不可思议的政务效率时，那种恨铁不成钢的自嘲。中国到底领先了美国多少年？接下来让我们跟随佩普教授的视角开眼看世界。
That's great. So let's talk China. So you went to China last year, I think last year, June.
During the bombing of Fordo, yeah.
Right. During the bombing of Fordo, you're there for 2 weeks, 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you're in the factories, you're in places. What did you learn about where China's at that the rest of the world is not aware of?
Yeah, what I learned is we're tracking about, I would say from the newspapers, that is Wall Street Journal, New York Times, even the business side, probably about 10% of the real big picture of what's happening in China. What we are doing is taking a soda straw view of what's happening, focusing on individual companies. And I know because when I went, I wanted to visit the companies, BYD, Xiaomi, which is another electric vehicle manufacturer. It's like the Porsche level. And also Alibaba, also some laser advanced AI in Wuhan. And I wanted to go visit the companies because that's what I thought I should do. I wanted to see, and I did. I visited the companies on the shop floor. I got a chance to see how the robots actually work. For hours, not just for a few minutes. And I did learn some things there, and I'll come back to the detail in just a second. But by doing this, by going to not just Beijing and Shanghai, which many people will do all the time here, but by going to Wuhan, Hangzhou, Shenzhen, to actually go on the shop floor, spend hours and hours and hours there, then go to dinner with the executives to really talk about the situation here, also in the Middle East. I learned something really big, Patrick, which is what China's doing is not just simply uplifting a company. They are doing that. They're uplifting whole cities. Wuhan and Shenzhen and Hangzhou, you're having massive construction. Because what you're doing is you're feeding AI in at every single street corner. When you get this will probably happen to us very soon. When you get a speeding ticket, now you know how we have the red lights here. Okay,
they take the pictures.
They take the picture, and we get about 2 weeks later here, and you don't know that it happened for 2 weeks. Okay. What happens in China, and they showed me, literally the driver showed me this, is when you run that speeding ticket, you get it in 2 seconds.
Stop it.
And they take it right out. No, and you can just push pay now.
That
okay?
Is hilarious.
And so it's happening like that.
Kind of good for me. I have way too many tickets. My license got suspended for the 3rd time 2 weeks ago.
Well, I'm just.
My wife's like, your license is. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yes, unpaid ticket.
So, but that doesn't happen without massive construction. So their construction workers are actually doubled what they were over the last 10 years. The health industry is growing as well because all of this, it's not about the company alone. And then the other thing that I really was just knocked me off my socks was the integration with university systems. So now, of course, I'm a professor and I'm interested in doing that. And as I'm doing this tour, they want to hear my talks on, say, Trump foreign policy and tariffs, things like that. So that's natural. I would also go to the university. But when I go to the universities, I'm getting these deep presentations, not just me talking to them, about how they're integrating with the AI. Because you've got basically AI that doesn't need a BA, you've got AI that needs a BA, AI that needs a master's, and AI that needs PhDs. And then they started to take me these different firms. So a lot of the firms are what's called vertically integrated, where what they're doing is building their own silicon chips. So they took me to the chip factories. So this would be a chip factory. I went in, say, Wuhan, which is part of a AI laser company. So they have the AI lasers here that are doing all this special carving with lasers and AI, but then they do their own chips. So they took me to the chips where you've got to get all dressed in the suits because you can't have any spotty, any dirt that gets in. And then they started to explain to me that, and they showed me that what's really happening here is you can't do this with BAs. You've got to actually have masters, and some of the chip assemblies here need to be done with PhDs because it's really very technical and very specific. It's not just people turning widgets or screwdrivers like Howard Lutnick was describing about a year ago on a Sunday show. This is a very different thing. So you want to work very closely with universities. So I'm coming back and I'm looking. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania. And I've seen Erie, Pennsylvania, just kind of the bottom fall out since over the last 30, 40 years. It breaks my heart. I mean, we basically have we used to have all these industries. And we had paper industries, all these tool and die industries here. You know what the big industries in Erie, Pennsylvania are? Hospitals where you're born and funeral parlors where you die. Okay? And this just breaks my heart here. And we just don't have any real approach like this. But what China's doing is they're not just uplifting a DeepSeek or an Alibaba. They are creating webs of doing that. But 90% of this is happening in a much broader context where they're taking, say, a St. Louis and they're uplifting the whole area. They're taking a Pittsburgh, they're uplifting the whole city. They're taking Detroit and they're uplifting the whole city. And I went in that 2-week period, I went to these four areas. It's about 50 million people that are being uplifted. Now, maybe they haven't uplifted anybody else. I don't know. I didn't actually. They're telling me that if I went to the more rural areas, I'd be impressed there too, and maybe I will go back. But the bottom line is, let's assume it's only 50 million people. Only 50 million people, and we're going to look down on that? No, I think they're 10, 20 years ahead of us, maybe even more. Not because of they're a couple months ahead or behind on DeepSeek or ChatGPT, but because of uplifting the entire cities here. And this is, what digital China is uplifting this whole area. And quite a few of these business owners, when I had dinners with them here, they would tell me their personal story, just like when we started out here. And almost, many of them had a very similar story, which was, well, in the 1980s or 90s, I lived in rural areas and I didn't even have shoes. And now, look at me. Okay, so this could be America.
Well, this is America. They kind of duplicated us. Without us, China
but where are we?
Today.
Where are we right now? You see, I believe
we are the juggernaut. We are the greatest country in the world that everybody copies and duplicates. And steals from.
Let's get juggernauting. Okay,
Yeah.
so I am definitely. I'm not going to become a salesman or sort of supporter of China. I'm going and looking at this as let's get moving here.
听到这里，相信大家和我一样，心情久久不能平静。尤其是教授提到他的家乡宾夕法尼亚州伊利市，说那座曾经的工业重镇，如今最大的支柱产业，居然只剩出生时的医院和死后的殡仪馆时，那种属于实体工业衰退的悲凉感可以说是扑面而来。正如佩普教授所说，他带回这些第一手观察，绝对不是来给谁当推销员，而是抱着一个清醒爱国者的危机感和斗志，在对所有人大声疾呼，别再沉迷于党派内耗和虚无缥缈的阴谋论了。大洋彼岸的竞争对手没有停下脚步，他们正在以全城为单位， 低调而坚定地完成着基建与科技的工业大跃进。而我们如果连击球区都走不出来，就注定会被时代抛弃。视频到这里就结束了，但这段关于效率科技与时代命运的对话才刚刚开始。那些在晚宴上和教授聊天，从80年代光脚种地一路逆袭到今天，掌控高精尖企业的中国商业大亨们，他们身上那种不服输、拼命往前跑的草根韧性，其实才最让人动容。无论你身处哪个行业，在这个大江大河的时代，拒绝躺平，直面竞争，像巨无霸一样疯狂跑起来，才是我们唯一的出路。你觉得教授口中全程级别的整体提升离我们还有多远？那个2秒钟的罚单到底算是科技带来的便利，还是压迫感？欢迎在评论区留下你的硬核观点，我们下期视频不见不散。